Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about educating consumers on Matter and Thread. I'd like to start by introducing our speakers. Sujata Neidig has over 25 years of experience in the semiconductor industry and has served in a variety of roles, ranging from product engineering to marketing and business development. She is currently Director of Marketing for Wireless Connectivity, where she drives product marketing and standards efforts for IoT connectivity. She also represents NXP on the Thread Group and Connectivity Standard Alliance's board of directors, as well as serves as Thread Group's VP of Marketing. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from the University of Texas at Austin. Also joining us is Michelle Mindala-Freeman, Executive Vice President of the Connectivity Standards Alliance. As a leader at Connectivity Standards Alliance, Michelle works to promote the Alliance, its mission, standards, and solutions, and drive the growth and success of IoT for the benefit of their members, consumers, and the marketplace at large. As a former executive in the telecom, energy, and professional services industry, she has built and led teams across marketing, strategy, brand, customer experience, and go-to-market. With 25 plus years of industry and consulting experience, she brings a wealth of experience, perspectives, and a passion for the Alliance's mission to build the foundation and the future of IoT. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Michelle to kick us off.
Thank you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been happening in the smart home market and some of both the challenges consumers face, as well as the solutions that we can bring to bear with both Matter and Thread. So let's start by setting a little bit of context. The smart home and the home in general is going through a tremendous amount of change and transformation. Over the last several years, you can see from the data shown here that the number of global smart homes has increased dramatically. A lot of this has to do with what has been happening in the move towards work from home and more time spent at home. And also we're seeing that transformation occur with respect to the number of smart devices in those smart homes, seeing a growth of about 7x in both the number of homes that are smart, as well as the number of devices in those homes. But I will say that what's interesting is that this is still but a portion of the total available market for smart home. CCS Insight has shared that about 2/3 of homes worldwide are not even entering the smart home market as yet. So the question really is why? As we see it, there are a few challenges today that prohibit or inhibit the dramatic growth of the smart home market. Interoperability and overall quality and performance do remain barriers to growth for the average consumer. There are several things that impact that. First of all, setup is still pretty cumbersome across the board. Setup flows can be, quite burdensome, and in some cases can take not just a few minutes, but several minutes and dozens of steps to simply set up a product. We do see that the control systems are fragmented. Different devices have different applications. Sometimes those applications or platforms in your home don't talk to each other, creating quite a disconnected experience for consumers. The experiences themselves can be slow and unreliable. Many systems today require a direct connection and always a direct connection to the cloud. Sometimes you experience latency in those connections, etc. And in some cases, a lot of people would say the smart home just isn't really very smart yet. There's a lot of great automation and things are happening behind the scenes, but some of those things that consumers like or wish for, like automated and anticipated experiences, are just not there today. And frankly, that's because device manufacturers in the industry are really focused on a lot of the basics. And because, frankly, those basics make devices just too hard to build. Right now, device makers have to not only build products that their customers love with features that they love, but they have to worry an awful lot about the underlying end-to-end connectivity. They have to worry about the radio connectivity, the protocols, making sure things work together, and also making sure they work with the variety of platforms and ecosystems that are out there today. All of this impacts development time, it impacts cost, it impacts quality, and and it impacts customers' ability to accept and adopt those products. But we are now thinking about and talking about something different, and that different thing is Matter. Matter is a universal open standard for the smart home, developed by the members of the Connectivity Standards Alliance and bringing together over 300 industry-leading companies to build a protocol that is simple, interoperable, reliable, and secure. And let me talk a little bit about each of those things. For simplicity, Matter's goal is to make it easy for a customer to purchase the devices that they love and have them work with the systems and platforms that they choose. It also helps make setup easier. Interoperable in that now anyone can pick the device they choose and devices and ecosystems can begin to work together. Reliable in that Matter is not tied to an internet connection. In fact, it allows for local connectivity in the home that allows the devices that are smart in your house to continue to perform even when an internet connection is down. And last but not least, secure. This is a big, big item for most consumers. There are over 31% of consumers today who have chosen to not enter the smart home market because of their concerns about security and privacy. And Matter dramatically raises the bar on security. All devices are authenticated before they join the network. All of the messages between those devices are encrypted, and there are backup capabilities in place to allow those devices to be upgraded should any vulnerabilities be found in the future. So what does make Matter different? In this case, in addition to the features I mentioned before, the entire industry is invested in Matter's success. I mentioned that there's about 300 members who are a part of the Matter working group who've brought this technology to life. Not only that, they have brought their technology and best practices to the table to build Matter. Companies are committed to building with, improving, and bringing to market products with Matter that fit their product portfolios and allow them to focus on innovation for consumers. Furthermore, with Matter and this process of developing the standard with these members, we are seeing a different type of technology and standards adoption cycle. Historically, many standards take a very long time to manifest themselves in the market. Not only do device companies need to interpret the standard and develop to it, but then they need to build their products, bring them to market, and users need to buy them. And sometimes what happens with those standards can be a bit uncertain. With Matter, there are actually millions of devices in homes already that have been upgraded to support Matter or that can be upgraded to support Matter. Matter was built with that in mind, and hundreds of devices have now been certified. Furthermore, Matter has contemplated the idea that there is already many embedded smart products in the home and brings capabilities like bridging into play so that other technologies can be connected to and worked with a Matter network in the home. Matter has launched with a number of common devices, in fact, many of the most common devices that consumers buy for smart home today, including HVAC controls, a number of different safety and security sensors, lighting, media devices, door locks, window coverings, and controllers. And there is more to come. The working group who is developing Matter and the companies supporting that today are working on a number of additional device categories, things that you would expect to see in the market soon, like cameras, vacuums, additional white goods, and even some additional advanced use cases for energy management, air quality control, sensing, and other types of devices. And with Matter, you will see easier setup, which will mean more confidence in consumers' purchase and ideally fewer returns. We know that setting up smart home devices can be pretty complex, as we mentioned earlier. And in fact, more than a third of consumers experience difficulty during the setup process. Oftentimes, this leads to a lack of confidence in the performance of the product and even returns back to the retailer. Matter focused on making the setup process substantially more consistent and easier for consumers using common technologies like Bluetooth Low Energy and NFC, as well as using things like QR codes that can be easily scanned to register and connect devices. Now that we've covered some of the key aspects of what makes Matter different, I'll hand it over to Sujata to talk about Matter and Thread and connectivity.
Thank you, Michelle. So how does Matter connect devices together? Matter uses existing technologies that are already deployed in products in millions of homes today. Matter-enabled smart home devices can run with Wi-Fi, Thread, or Ethernet networks. What are these different networks and technologies, and why are there multiple technologies that Matter uses? That's a great question. And the reason behind that is that there's different applications and use cases, ways of connecting and why they want to connect and what they're transmitting. So Wi-Fi is universal. Everybody understands what Wi-Fi does. It connects them to the internet. And the other thing is Wi-Fi really was created and designed to support high bandwidth and real-time use cases. So supporting streaming video, audio. So these are really large files and data that are being transferred wirelessly. Ethernet is the wired version of Wi-Fi, same use case, transmitting big packets of data, such as streaming audio and video. And also Ethernet is in many homes today through Wi-Fi access points. Thread is a little bit of a newer technology and not as ubiquitous or well-known as Wi-Fi and Ethernet. And it has a very specific purpose of connecting devices together securely, reliably, robustly, and with very low power consumption or low power footprint. And this is really important for applications that are battery operated or devices that run off of batteries. We want consumers to be able to use those devices without having to replace the battery too often. So Thread is built as a energy efficient wireless mesh network, and it enables devices like sensors, motion or contact sensors or temperature sensors to connect to each other reliably with very fast response times, and also helps extend the range because Thread is a wireless mesh network. So the more devices that are on that wireless mesh network, it expands the reach of the network. And again, Thread is energy efficient and can support years of battery life, not hours or days. So let's now talk about Hub. I think Hub is a common concept or word that consumers are familiar with smart home products they have today that they bring home. Let's say a smart lighting system or smart light bulbs, and there is a hub that connects those light bulbs. Matter, the key aspect of a Matter network, or the main component of a Matter network, is the Matter controller. The Matter controller is how the user controls all these different devices, whether it's smart plugs, light bulbs, door locks, etc. They can control it with an app on a smartphone, through an app that's embedded on something like a smart speaker. And Matter is a local network. And so that is how devices get controlled, is through this Matter controller. The controller is connected to the internet, so it can even support control when consumers are away from their home. Most Matter controllers will have some sort of an app that has either voice or some type of a screen or web interface that helps control these Matter end devices. And some Matter devices could also have a direct connection to the internet, and that allows device makers to provide and complement the local network with cloud-based services, doing analytics and providing updates. And as I already said, controlling the device is in your home from when you're away from the home. There are a few terms you will hear when you are talking and explaining Matter devices to consumers or other people in the industry. And we want to break these terms up into two categories. First of all, there's the Matter network components. What are these components that build up a Matter network? And then the other aspect are Matter device roles. What role does the device play in the network? And there's a lot of words on this slide, so I won't read them all word for word, but let me just give you the basic concept for each of these terms. So under the network components, a few terms to be familiar with is platform. A smart home platform is a vendor-specific platform that allows devices to connect and be controlled. from multiple vendors. Border router is a function that is related to thread. And basically what a thread border router function is that it enables the thread network to connect to other IP networks like Wi-Fi or Ethernet. So connecting the local thread network to the internet. And it is a function. So it's something that can be embedded into a device type. It is not a standalone proprietary or single function device. It can be embedded in existing products in people's homes today, like access points or smart speakers. Mesh extender is also another term that you may not be familiar with that's related to thread. The basic concept of the mesh extender is that the mesh extender is a thread device that is always powered and is part of the network in transmitting or routing data through the network. So it takes the data that it gets and repeats that and sends it to the next device. And the more devices that you have, thread devices that you have in your home that have this capability, so it's always powered, the larger your network can be and the larger your network coverage in the home or building can be. And then lastly, on the network component side, there's the home gateway. For example, Wi-Fi routers or access points. A home gateway basically allows the interface between IP or allows IP communications to flow between the local smart home network and the internet. So it connects your local network in your home to your internet. Now, on Matter device roles, so a Matter device is any hardware product that supports Matter. It can be connected to and controlled by a Matter controller. A controller, as we described on the previous slide, is a device or an app that controls Matter devices that the user has in their home. It can also be built into hardware devices like smartphones and smart home hubs and provide local as well as remote access and control. And then bridge. A bridge is a function that's embedded into existing devices to translate to and from the Matter network and protocol to another protocol that is not IP-based, such as Zigbee or Z-Wave. So it allows devices already in homes using a different technology to be part of the Matter network. And just like with the Matter controller, this bridge can be built into a number of devices like controllers or hubs, and it really provides this seamless experience for the user. So let's step back again to that thread border router because it is a new concept. I want to make sure that we explain this that in a way that you can then explain it to consumers. What is a border router? So border router, a thread border router connects thread devices on the local network to other devices that are on other IP-based technologies like Wi-Fi or the internet. And you see in this diagram, several devices on the right side with the thread logo. They are all connected to each other in this mesh network and communicating to each other using those connections. However, they can also translate that communication to the devices on the left that are running Wi-Fi, like your smart TV. And it does that translation in the border router, which is shown in the middle, that supports both Wi-Fi and thread. And what's really key to understand is thread border routers are already available and in millions of homes today. You see a list of products here that support the thread border router functionality, and these are already in people's homes and available. So now let's talk about why Matter. Why should your customers and consumers care about Matter? One of the main advantages that Matter brings, and one of the main challenges that consumers face today with smart home devices, is around how to purchase it and set it up and make sure that everything is working. With Matter, this becomes more intuitive, it's more secure because Matter builds security into every device that uses Matter. And so it provides that really simple setup process that is absolutely needed from a consumer perspective. And Matter also enables really fast response times and higher amount of reliability because it is a local network. It doesn't need to go through the cloud to get to the device. So you can be confident that it will always be responsive and reliable. And another really key advantage that Matter brings is that this is a technology that has been developed and implemented in their products across all of the major smart home platforms, whether it's Amazon, Apple, Google, Samsung SmartThings. Devices can work with each other across these platforms, and in your home, you could have users using different platforms. One could be on Apple iPhone, and another one could have an Android phone, and they would both still be able to control their Matter devices. And so Matter is that seal of approval that says that devices work together reliably. And what this does for consumers is it also takes out all of that guesswork as they're trying to decide what products to purchase. If they can focus on what experience they want. Do they want smart lighting? Do they want sensors and security systems? And they want it all to work together. They just have to go and say, okay, does this have the Matter logo on it? That is a huge benefit to consumers. And then how does Matter help you as the retailer? You know, again, because it is this universal standard that drives interoperability, that's a key factor for how it benefits you. As a retailer, it reduces returns because of the simple setup process and consumers being able to get the advantage that they were expecting to get out of the device. It reduces them making returns. From your perspective, it streamlines your supply chain, your point of sale systems, because all these different devices from different companies can work with each other with Matter. It also simplifies how you train your sales associates and enables you to do more in-category aisle merchandising so that the smart devices are in the aisle that previous devices are that don't have that smartness. And it also gives you an opportunity to create and build your own house brand. So as you can see, there are many advantages that Matter brings to the consumer and to you as the retailer. You're very well aware that badging and logos is a key part of communicating to consumers and users what they are going to get if they purchase this device. So what badges do is they provide a very quick and easy way for consumers to get that confidence that when they're buying these products, they're going to work together. So as Matter is rolling out, you're probably starting to see devices in your stores that have the Matter logo. And this slide here is a quick reference for you, a kind of a guide of what logos to expect to see related to Matter. First of all, of course, all Matter devices have to have the Matter logo on them. And you see that badging up here, a couple of different formatting from color perspective. The next step is thread-based devices. Thread-based devices have these logos. I explained the importance of a border router. And so for consumers to easily be able to tell if they have a border router in their home or if they need to purchase a device that provides them that capability, they just need to look for this built-on thread border router badge. All other thread devices have the built-on thread requires border router badge. And again, this is so that consumers know when they buy this device, they're not going to get the experience they're expecting unless they have a border router. And it's very easy to figure out if they have a border router. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth logos will also be seen, but you're very familiar with those, so we have not included that in this slide. And then lastly, the smart home platform badges. These badges are not going away. Every smart home platform company has their programs and their business models, and they will continue to drive unique user experiences with their platform. And so those badges will also be a part of what you see on Matter devices.
So, as a retailer, how can you help support Matter adoption and this new way of delivering an interoperable, secure, and value-added smart home to your consumers? Well, there are a few simple ways. Firstly, it's really all about training and ensuring that your sales associates and your consumers and shoppers understand the benefit and the value of Matter. And we hope tools like this webinar will be able to help you and help your sales associates understand the benefits and communicate the why of Matter to your consumers during their shopping journey, either in store or online. Secondly, we know that retailers are incredibly powerful players in the marketplace and are able to direct and influence exactly what does show up on all of their shelves and in all of our homes. We hope that as a retailer, you see the benefit of Matter and the opportunity it brings to you as a retailer to improve overall customer journey and your consumers' experiences with smart home, and that you would look to specify Matter products from your vendors and manufacturers so that you can see more and more Matter products on your shelves. And last but not least, retailers can actually help accelerate the delivery of new devices supporting Matter. It does take time and effort for new devices to come to market. And in particular, it takes the contributions of companies who are interested in creating these new smart devices to build the specification and the testing and all of the interoperability that goes behind the bringing of that product to market. Retailers know better than most what those devices should be and what consumers are looking for on the shelves today and tomorrow. And we would encourage retailers to participate and come to the Alliance and help drive forward what the roadmap of new smart and Matter-enabled devices should be for their consumers in their homes. Lastly, we also believe that there are some ways where retailers can invest directly in the success of Matter, which will also bring benefit to them as a retail provider and increase the stickiness and the relationships with their consumers. First is the area of retail assisted setup. Matter was built to support connectivity with platform providers and even point of sale systems that would allow accounts to be set up and pre-built for your consumers to have the best purchase and out-of-box experience as possible. So you can get more involved to drive forward retail assisted setup capabilities with your point of sale and with your consumers. Last but not least, you can also look forward, as Sujata pointed out, in terms of house brands for smart home products. Previously, it's been quite difficult for retailers to get directly involved in house brands and in their own branded smart home products because it required a tremendous amount of investment, everything from connectivity to understanding protocol to getting involved with the various platforms works with programs. Now, with Matter, the delivery of a house brand is far easier, and retailers can come into the market today to create their own branded solutions, both with products and with controller solutions, so that they can bring added value and, again, increase that relationship and that stickiness with their end consumers.
Thank you, Michelle and Sujata, for your insights on educating consumers on Matter and Thread. If you have questions or would like to learn more, please visit csa-iot.org. Thank you again for joining us and have a wonderful rest of your day.